The first case study in the Rescue Surf Unit looks at an area of fold mountains, for which we use the Alps as an example. And the exam would expect you to be able to look at how humans have used fold mountains and also how they've adapted to them. So to start off the diagram, I suggest you just draw kind of 3 mountain peaks. Start off with the first 2 here. So if you split off the furthest right one, this one here is going to look at our uses to start off with. Okay, so primary and probably most obvious use of a fold mountain range like the Alps, okay, is tourism. Things such as winter sports, okay, such as skiing, okay, and hiking. The Alps actually receives over 100 million visitors a year, okay, bringing in a huge amount of tourist income. Another common use of fold mountains is the steep valleys, okay, and the steep and narrow valleys with fast-flowing rivers provide a perfect opportunity for hydroelectric power generation. And in fact, Switzerland produces over 60% of its domestic electricity through hydroelectric power. Another really common use of fold mountains is mining. Because the rocks have been folded upwards, it's very common to find minerals close to the surface. Things such as iron ore are mined in the Alps. Another major use is forestry. So if we just draw on this little mountain here, some trees. The most common tree used in forestry in the Alps is something called the Scot pine. It doesn't mind growing on steep slopes and also doesn't mind being buried by snow, so it's perfect for growing in the conditions that it may be forced to. Normally that forestry is used to make things such as furniture, like tables, or to make wooden chalets. Another great thing about the Scot pine or any forestry is that the trees provide an avalanche barrier, so also increase the safety of alpine resorts. Another major use, and I'm going to apologise now because I really can't draw cows, okay, is kind of cattle farming. As I said, can't draw cows, but there we go. So cows are used to produce things such as cheese, which is then sold at market, and milk. Okay, so that's the major uses of fold mountains. As I said, that's only half the question though, because it may be that we also get asked to talk about the adaptations and how humans have adapted fold mountains to make them easier to live in. Now there's several things that they do. One of my sort of favourite ones is the creation of ski lifts and cable cars that mean getting around, up, down the mountain or across valleys is much easier. In a similar vein to this, tunnels are built through the mountains and hairpin bend roads are created to make travelling either through the mountains or up and down them again much easier. Obviously, the issue with the Alps is that they're very seasonal. In the winter, there's a large amount of snow, and this can go or disappear during the hotter months of the summer. This means that obviously trying to get a job in the Alps can be quite difficult because of the seasonal changes. So most people have adapted to have seasonal jobs. So for example, there might be a ski instructor in the winter, and there may be a kind of mountain bike instructor in the summer. Now, we talked about farming as one of the major uses, but obviously farming is quite challenging in an environment where it can get incredibly cold in the winter. So, again, I'm going to have to draw a cow, so I apologise about the lack of quality in the drawing. What the farmers have learnt to do is something called transhumance farming. Transhumance farming simply means that during the summer, the cattle are moved up the mountain so that they can feed on the fresh grass once the summer has caused the snow to melt. But during the winter, they move down into the bottom of the valley where conditions are warmer and therefore they're more likely to survive. So, as we said, we've got either uses or adaptations of fold mountains. And we need to really carefully read the question and see what it's asking us for.